Hey guys, this is Jae.
And this is Kendra, and you're listening to Mood Swings, the podcast.
This is actually our very first podcast episode, and I'm super excited. And we just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a rundown on how our formatting goes. We always got to start with a good fucking drink, okay? So
Good ass drink.
I'm going to go with something that's a little carbonated. But Kendra, what you drinking on?
Girl, I am trying to be refined tonight. I have a glass of red wine.
Oh,
Yes, I'm
okay.
keeping it classy tonight, dear.
You know what? I can keep it classy too because I'm going to pour it into a martini glass. Now what? So
Way to
we have
go.
to be classy anyways.
Class out the ass.
All right. So I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about, and I know you got a couple of things. But first, before we do that, let's go ahead and cheers ourselves.
Right. Cheers. Let the fun begin, friends.
Yes. All right. Well, what you got to talk about today?
Girl, I have so many things that have me in a mood from this week that I want to go over. And I want to do a little segment of something I call stories you didn't know you needed to be worried about, because there is real shit out here in these streets, honey, that
From
I
one
didn't know
hypochondriac to
existed.
another, I need to know this information so I know how to prepare myself. You know, I will panic shop in a second. Go ahead and let me know what's going on, girl.
And so basically, and the stories that you didn't know you needed to worry about, I wanted to talk about this radioactive wasp nest that was discovered in a nuclear waste storage site in South Carolina.
Okay, that sounds pretty fun and scary. So let's do it.
So I just want to set the scene for you, okay? So you're working at a nuclear power plant in South Carolina, and it's just a regular chill kind of Tuesday. You're walking around, doing your rounds, trying not to absorb any of the radiation, and then you see a wasp nest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's no big deal. I've had a wasp nest before in my mailbox. You kind of just like swat at it, you spray it, you move on, and you keep it moving. Except in this particular case, the wasp nest is radioactive.
What the fuck? What? Wait. All right, I guess you're gonna get into how it became radioactive, because how do you have a radioactive nest in this area? Okay, go ahead.
It's in South Carolina, and it's at an old nuclear plant that has just basically nuclear waste in it. But not only is this nest radioactive, but it tested 10 times higher than the federal limit. 10 times higher. Okay, so now, even though it tested higher, officials are saying that this is what they're calling a legacy leak, not a current leak. So I don't feel like that makes any difference to me. I don't give a shit if it's a legacy leak
Don't
or
you
current
Aaron
leak.
Brockovich me. Look, some bullshit's been happening, and my hair falling out and shit for a reason. I got 45 rows of teeth now. Now I understand.
To me, it doesn't make a difference if it's a legacy leak or a current leak. In fact, the idea of a legacy leak kind of scares me a little more, because that means, how long of a legacy does this leak have? How long has this shit been going on? Generations?
That's what I'm saying. Is it in the water? Is it in the produce? Is it in the ground? Is it in the soil? Because it's in a freaking wasp nest. So what happened to all the wasps? So did they kill all the wasps?
I'm so glad you asked that question, my friend. So it turns out that the wasps were basically building their dream home out of some mud or, boards or whatever they found that they gathered from this nuclear waste storage site. Apparently, wasps don't give a fuck about nothing, because they're like, radioactive, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna put my babies in that bitch, right? So, and what else is scary about this is that this is not the first time that this has happened. Are you hearing what I'm saying? This isn't the first time this has happened. Okay, so according to a Department of Energy report in 2017, radioactive bird droppings were also discovered on a roof of the building in South Carolina, which is that nuclear waste storage site.
Oh, that means it's actually in the bird's digestive system. They are eating it, or they're ingesting it, or it's already in their body and it's coming out in their fecal matter. My God.
Yes, it was in the actual dropping. So my question is,
any of the birds losing weight or anything?
I think the story's still developing because it just came out a couple days ago, so it didn't go into depth yet. But one of the things is that
that is getting really expensive. So,
because what is?
Ozempic. So just trying to figure out, always trying to find some way.
So you want to get stung by a radioactive wasp?
Just a little bit, just a little bit. If it can get about 14, 30 pounds off, I'm all good.
Girl, I hadn't even considered that. You might be onto something. What if we captured these wasps, put them in a jar, and tried to like milk them, or not, you know what I mean, like extract the venom and put just a little bit, like on our forehead, like some Botox or
Just a
something.
little, like a topical solution. I'm just saying.
Girl, you might be onto something. Anyway, so the officials are saying with the bird incident where they found the droppings that this was like a very, very low radiation level. It wasn't like Chernobyl or anything like that. But yet, it doesn't matter to me because anything that's radioactive is still scary as fuck to me, Unless, of course, it's going to make me lose some weight or get rid of my wrinkles or some shit like that.
Just trying to keep that one in the back of our mind. Let's just put a pin. We're going to put a pin on that one.
Basically, what happened next after they found that is that the officials are saying that the nests were sprayed with insecticide, they backed them up as radiological waste, and they were disposed of. That's fine and all, but the question that no one is really asking, which is putting me in a mood, is where the fuck were the wasps? I failed to tell you this part. They found 4 nests on this nuclear waste site. They found 4. All of them just nests, empty nests. There's no wasps.
Empty
So where are they? Well, people are saying, so the officials are saying that the wasps don't fly far. They stay within like 50 miles of their nest. So they're like, so they're not going to go far. So basically what you're telling me is that all the workers on the nuclear site are the ones that are going to be in danger?
What? Where are they? Because they deported everybody. So where are the workers? See, I'm just saying.
So yeah, I don't know. It's troubling me a little bit that there are some wasps flying around South Carolina infecting people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so wasps are different than bees. Bees can sting, they'll lose their stinger, and they're gonna die.
And they're gonna die.
Wasps can continue to attack you and sting you.
They will
So
keep
you can get
going.
multiple puncture wounds with radioactive venom. Man, we're creating Marvel characters and shit.
I'll just say, by the time you're done, by the time that wasp is done with your ass, you're glowing. You got a whole nother finger growing out your forehead, like all type of shit's going on.
That's crazy.
Anyway, so that's just one of the highlights from this week of all the current events and craziness that's been going on.
You know, I think there's way too many current events to talk about. Which one is gonna trump the other? Oh, don't want to say that. Which one is gonna? I'm gonna stay away from that particular subject for right now because we don't want to get too deep in it. It's only our first episode. Shit. I just like because Trick love the kids. You know what I'm saying? So
Speaking of Trick, love the kids.
shut up.
You know what? Let me take another. Like, I'm not even taking a sip. It's no more classiness. I have to take a whole take this shit to the neck because
I'm down with you. Let's go.
Let's go. Clink. So I'm shifting my mood from concern, genuine concern, to fucking pissed off. You can catch these perimenopausal hands, Trick.
Oh.
So basically, Trick Daddy.
My mood comes. Kids. We know you love the kids.
He does love the kids because anybody over 35 years old is apparently too old for Trick Daddy. So yes, he does indeed love the kids. So just this week, Trick Daddy dropped a gem on the Nene Leak show saying that according to him, women over 35 are just off limits. They're apparently too emotional, they're damaged, and their standards are just too damn high. Did you hear what I say, girl?
Has Trick looked in the mirror lately?
Wait a minute. Wait.
Let me tell you. No. Has he looked? Melted Candle. He worked at Bath and Body Works.
Girl.
He is Jabba the Hutt. He looked like a melted dookie stick. You know, like when you plop a piece of dookie, and then he gonna turn around and say somebody over the age of 35. Isn't he like 85-year-old? He like the Crypt Keeper.
He's like 52. But wait, let me just
music lately?
Ma'am. He ain't made now. So listen, let me just give a disclaimer, okay? I want to give this disclaimer before I go off. I just want to give this disclaimer. So anyone that knows me, y'all all know that I don't like calling people ugly. I don't. You know that, Jay.
Either. But the truth has to be told. I mean,
I agree. And frankly, I feel like it's ugly to call people ugly, and attractiveness is in the eye of the beholder, right? But and for me personally, me, Kendra, I seriously don't care what you look like. Like I seriously don't. If we connect, we connect. Now, with that being said, Trick Daddy, come on, dog. Like for real. Like come the fuck on, Trick Daddy.
He look like his breath stank. Like he don't have one set of real teeth in there. Like he got all the veneers that are still fucking ugly.
Girl, wait a minute. So first of all, Trick Daddy, he's literally a trick. Like it's literally in his name. And before any of the viewers get to talk about it, it ain't tricking if you got it, right? I don't want to hear that shit because no, nigga, if you had it, you wouldn't have to trick in the first place. You got to trick because you ain't got it, right? So to me, it's weird that he would say that because, like you said, to look in the mirror, like his face literally looks like it was baked at like 350 degrees for 40 minutes. And he's yet still out here telling women over 35 that they're damaged goods. So think about it. When Trick was 35, they still didn't want his ass. Because if you remember what Trina said, hell no, I don't want to holler at no motherfucking Trick. remember, she said that long, no damn.
She was literally putting it on record. I don't want to holler no motherfucking Trick.
His face, like you said, it melted candle. It's like a cracked ass brownie. Like,
He doesn't look real. He looks like claymation.
you know what? Can we put up a picture of
Yes,
Trick?
please.
Oh my God. And just to think that you can even fool somebody under the age of 35. No,
I mean, you know what though?
young
You know
with
what
your
though?
old ass.
Okay, well, we are into, self uplifting each other and thinking you like the shit and stuff. And so obviously he does think highly of himself. So that's good. He has like no? Okay.
No, and I'm gonna debunk that for you. So before I move on, I want to tell our listeners to go to the Nene Leaks podcast. Go over there and look at it. You can physically see it, and then you can see a picture or you can see live motion of what he actually looks like. Okay. And I don't want to pile on.
No.
I really don't. But
No.
it's this Duncan Hines looking ass nigga. Like he really thought he was eating with this one. So everything that you were saying about he thinks highly of himself. No, I don't think so. I think this is all geared by pure insecurity. This man, he knows that he has nothing to bring to a table for a grown ass woman who knows her worth, right? So, because here's the thing, Jennifer, women are like wine, right? We get better, we get bolder, we get richer as we age. Hence my red wine I'm drinking tonight.
Uh-huh.
We know who we are. We've been through some stuff, but we've healed, or maybe we're still healing, but we're on that journey, right? We've raised
Right.
families, we've cared for aging parents, we're running companies, we're paying mortgages, we're staying hydrated, we're doing squats, and we are still keeping it tight. So the point that I'm making is that we've outgrown nonsense, right? Including his dusty ass commentary from a been washed up ass rapper that really had one hit in his life, and it really was only a hit because Trina was on it.
Because Trina was on it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right. And he knows this. We know this. Y'all, our listeners, everyone knows this. So my thing is, why is he pushing this tired narrative that women 35 and up are too emotional? And if you are emotional, why is that a flaw? I mean, if you really
Yeah.
break it down, right? We're human. Human beings have emotion. That's literally part of the human experience. So I don't think the problem is that the women have emotions. The problem is that he is not emotionally equipped to handle a woman with opinions or boundaries or standards.
The way he devalues women, first off, right?
Values a woman, that's about himself. Men, you literally come from a woman. You literally come from a woman. So you hate yourself.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
He's not prepared for real conversations or real feelings or just like illness in any form. He wants silence and submission and like short-term memory. And so to me, that's not a preference. That's a deficiency Trick. You're deficient and it shows. That's why you're so insecure to be around a woman that's grown. So instead of admitting that he's not adequate for the kind of woman who knows her power, he tries to flip the script and blames us for being too much. When really, it's that he's not enough, period.
Absolutely. Masking his own insecurity and having to bring women down to his level so that he could feel that he is actually adequate at the same level as a woman. Whatever low grade man feel superior to us.
It's awful. I don't even want to hold you, but did you ever see those memes on social media? They're talking to women and they were like, what would you do if you woke up the next day and there were no men in the world? And then I was like, so the moment I heard it, because oh my God, the moment I heard it, I was like, oh my God, I would panic. I love men. I value men. I know the
Who's gonna
importance
take
of
my garbage
men.
out?
Exactly. Who's going to kill spiders? Who's going to pull my trailer when I need to go camping? So I get it. But when I started listening to these women's responses, it made me sad for real. They were like, I would go walking at nighttime. I wouldn't lock my doors.
Wow.
I would tell my daughter she can be anything she wanted. It was just these really sobering responses that I wasn't ready for. In my mind, I was like, oh my God, no dick.
Yeah.
Like, what's happening in the world, you know? But they had some depth
But
behind it. And I think those answers, and I think those answers come because of men that are deficient, like Trick. I want to be clear that I don't feel that that is the case for all men. I feel like that is the case for deficient men, right? Men that have not
yes.
done the work, men that hate women, men that are insecure. That's their story. But I don't feel like all men are like that, because we have some really great men in our lives. Your husband is A1. That's my brother. My husband is A1. I think that both of those men respect women. They love women. They care about women. They care about us, right? So I don't want that to be all men. But the men that are with the bullshit, you know who the fuck you are. You know who you
Yes.
are. Like, you're the bullshit man that we have to lock our door. You're the bullshit man of why we got to worry about being told if we're over 35 we're too fucking old. That's ridiculous. Okay, and then I'm just gonna say this, and then I'm just gonna be
Do
done
we
with that.
sound
But I
bitter?
think
We don't sound bitter. We are very
no,
happy.
that's what I'm
We're
saying.
just
I
saying
love men.
the
I
truth.
love men. This is what I'm saying. I love men.
But I just want to summarize this with, again, we are not men hating. We are going to talk a plethora of different types of topics. It's a conversation between two best friends who've been friends
Right.
for over 30 years. So
Exactly.
you're going to hear some real deal stuff. It's not going to be scripted. It's just going to be real deal. We are a little vulgar, but I bet you guys going to totally enjoy it.
I think I made enough disclaimers to say about how we don't male bash. We love men. Men are always welcome here. We have good husbands, we have good fathers, we have good brothers. We have good positive males in our life. Because of these good males that are in our lives, which is why we can spot the bullshit so easily.
Absolutely. If you guys have any questions or concerns or want to add to that topic, please feel free to email us at info at moodswingsthepodcast.com.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely make sure to add those into future podcasts. But until then, thank you so much for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed. This is for episode number 2, coming shortly.
Coming shortly. Love you, Jay.
Hey guys, this is Jay.
And this is Kendra, and you're listening to Mood Swings Podcast.
This is our second episode, Kendra. I'm super, super excited.
I'm so
Okay.
excited. We're on 2 already.
Yes, yes. The last time, just a little recap, we were talking about your issues with Trick Daddy. We also talked about those radioactive wasps, which we're still trying to find out and track out where the hell they are. So, because I
Girl,
definitely don't want them in Nevada,
stay away from Carolina. That's where they're at, I'm telling you.
right? That's driving me to drink. So, I just want to know what you drinking on today.
I just had some prosecco. You know, I'm trying to keep it classy still. I have a glass of chilled prosecco.
Nice. Well, I switched up and went from party girl, college drunk, wasted bitch uh, to something classy too. The Hibiki Japanese whiskey.
Ooh, that's the good stuff you pulled out
Yes.
tonight.
And cheers.
Clink, 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 clink. Cheers, friends. All right. So, girl, what has got you in a mood this week?
Yeah, we only got a half hour, so we might as well go ahead and get up into this stuff. So,
Yeah.
my mood it still continues on. My mood is conspiracy theory mood.
Gosh, here we
I'm telling
go.
you, I have been now. This has been the most recent news about all this shit's going on, or maybe because I don't know what I did. Maybe I looked onto it on Instagram, and then my algorithm just immediately started downloading all conspiracy content. But now my head is so filled that I think
Yes.
I may not be here tomorrow. So if you don't see me, you better find out, because I think the government might be coming to get me. So I'm
Yes,
just
I agree. So when you stop it, okay. So wait, let's just give the disclaimer. I am not a conspiracy theorist. I am forever a skeptic. So I'm really looking forward to what you have to say to see if you can change my mind. I doubt it, but I want to hear it. Let's go, girl.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, the very first thing I want to know is there was the moon landing in 1969. And I told you, we went to school, we learned our history, we learned about Armstrong touching down and doing the flag, and we're super excited. It was the one step for mankind and a big leap for somebody else. I don't know, something to that effect that he said.
Yeah, something like that.
We, right now, in our world, we are having flying vehicles, we got Teslas, we got EV cars, we have all this technology, we have androids, we have all this. We don't have the technology to go back to the moon. We got all this technology, but in 1969, we were
Yes.
able to fly our asses to the moon and then call the president and say, hey, we made it to the moon on our rotary phone, right? Because we just had
Wait,
nothing but just like landlines. And then he picked up the phone and was like, hey, this is the president. He said, hey, we're out here chilling on the moon. And he was like, oh, that's crazy. I hear you very perfectly. He goes, in fact, send me some of that video, right? Right? Send me some of that video because they can take a video of them on the moon and then transmit it back to Earth, right? But I can't get coverage from my Wi-Fi 2 stories down in my house. So I just want
okay,
to know,
wait.
explain that to me.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to process everything that you're saying. So, what you're saying, or what I'm hearing you say, is that because I was going to ask you this, like, why hasn't there been any more moon landings? And you're saying that the USA is saying that they've lost the technology that was required to go back to the moon.
Absolutely. They said that they had lost the technology and it is too painful to try and recreate. However, we're creating such technology to where we have humanoids look exactly like
Hmm.
a human, walk and talk,
Hmm.
think and reason, but we can't find the technology came out in 1969. You remember what do you remember all those TV shows about
Future.
Danger Will Rogers and all the future? And they looked all like canny and they're all just walking around like a man who's
Yeah.
walking around in a suit. That was 1969. Now we have freaking skin like humanoids, but yet we lack the technology. It doesn't make it make sense. Make it make
So when
sense to
they
me, Kendra.
say, am I getting too far into the weeds when I'm asking about this? Like, so when they say they don't have the technology, do they mean like physically? And I hope I don't sound ignorant, but is it a rocket ship? I mean, what is the technology specifically that they're saying they don't have?
I'm assuming that that would be that they no longer have the ability to send man into orbit to land physically on the moon like they did when they had DSL dial up. And before
Okay,
they
so
had
when you
DSL dial up.
yeah, so that's why I'm asking, is it a rocket ship? So when they say they've lost the technology, did they physically lose a rocket ship or did they lose a computer chip that runs a program? What did they lose? Why is it gone? And how did they lose it? And where is it at? And was there an investigation?
Whoever the engineer was that they interviewed, he said very vaguely that we have lost the technology and it's too painful to create. That is it. He left it at that. He didn't go into the details of what that technology was because, again, it's really hard for me to believe what kind of technology we had in 1969.
Yeah.
Right? When we still
Yeah.
didn't find out how to do black people hair and didn't even have technology to do our hair yet. But we can definitely get something from the moon here very clearly. So I'm looking it up right here, and I have listed a couple of things that kind of are the conspiracy ones, and then I'm going to read you a couple ones that kind of debunk it, right? But I'm going to
Okay.
leave it up to you and the listeners to decide what do you think. To me, I'm kind of in the air with the logic that we have and the amount of information that we have and the ability that our systems can do. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, wait, before you start that, let me ask another question. I'm sorry, my analytical mind is trying to process this. What has happened that makes you think or on the fence or even research why you think the moon landing never happened or that it's fake? What's standing out to you about that?
Well, how did I get into it? I think to be honest, it is MAGA was a high proponent of looking into these type of things because we have QAnon, we have these people who have all these types of
Mhm.
conspiracy theories that come out of it that all end up equating to Trump being the best thing in since sliced bread? I don't understand. So I was just trying to get to the mind of these type of individuals and get to their thought process and maybe start to realize, is Trump a good guy? I
What?
doubt that I will get to that conclusion. I
What?
doubt I'll ever get to that conclusion. But I'm just trying
Bitch,
to
are you
reason with
drunk?
the mindset of people who. No, but did you hear what I said? I said for me to try and even understand the mindset of as to why you would think that this person is our savior, and the same people who believe that this man is the savior are the same people who think that the earth is freaking flat.
Mm,
That's a
mm,
whole different topic. Okay.
mm.
Well, I mean, and then and then and then I don't even want to get into the part about the I don't even know I want to touch on the 9/11, right? Because that's a lot of different conspiracies that we can talk about where
9/11.
we are told one thing when we are we went through school, we went through history, all of our kids went through and learned about this, and now we're kind of rewriting history a little bit. But we lived through that. We lived through 9/11, okay? And
Yeah.
and then watching the documentaries and now coming back and seeing a lot of these documentaries that are going against the original information that we were originally set to believe, and that brings up some questions. But I'm not going
Okay.
to get into that one right now because that's a really touchy subject, and
Uh,
it was such a tragedy for America at that time. So I'm just going to stick to the moon landing, which is kind of a little bit
yeah,
safer. But I don't know, I might go
because
missing still.
I'm saying when the
So
men
we're
in
going to
black
go
come
through
up to your
a couple of
house
things.
and get you.
I know, and I got a pug too, and this bitch, and when she starts talking and starts wearing herself a suit, I know it's time to leave. But I kind of want to go over a couple of these these argument theories. Okay, so
Yeah.
one of them the claims it says that when Neil Armstrong when he landed on the moon, and I wanted to state his quote. It was, "That's one small step for man, one giant step for mankind." Want to just
Mankind.
correct
Yeah.
myself on that. No, so the claim is that the moon landing was faked by NASA, and it was possibly directed by Stanley Kubrick, and it was part of the Cold War space race against the USSR. Which again, we needed
Mm,
we're America. We always got to be on top. We got to show we're first in everything, right? So, oh, you're
yeah.
trying to get to the moon. Well, we got there first. So let me show you, right? But
Okay.
one of the first claims is that the waving flag argument. Okay. So the American flag, if you look at the picture and you look at the video, it says the American flag appears to flutter, which should be
Yeah.
impossible because in a vacuum of space with no air, no gravity, that shouldn't be floating around. There's no air there. Okay. And so the implication is
Um.
suggests that the footage was filmed on Earth, possibly in a studio with wind or air movement. So that's number one.
mm,
Now, I don't know what you think about that, but right. So the another one is no stars in the photos. There's no stars in the photos. So the claim in the photos from with Neil Armstrong says photos from the moon show a black sky but no stars, which seems kind of suspicious, seeing that you're in the universe with the moon. Okay, and when you look in the sky, you see
Okay.
the moon surrounded by thousands of stars. You're in that atmosphere. You should see them much closer. I would assume, right? But the implication is
Okay.
critics argue that the omission suggests artificial lighting or studio set. Number three, shadows in different directions. So when they took pictures, there's a picture of the flag, there's a picture of him. Now, when you're getting a
Mhm.
light source, it's the sun. If you're both standing in one area, both of your shadows should be in the same exact direction. If the light source is behind you
Okay. Yeah.
in the photo, the shadows of one particular item, and then with the astronaut, they're displaced. They look a little off, which would indicate that there are multiple lighting sources that were used in a studio, which casted a directional shadow one way and another directional shadow another way. Which, if you're on the moon, there is no studio lighting. There is only one source of lighting, and it should have been going on the same way. So again, that's just something that we want to look at as well. And number four is the sea rock, not the dance, but sea rock is a moon rock shown in photos has a perfect C on it, as if it was a movie prop. So I need to look at that picture. If you can look and see if there's an actual rock that has a letter C on it, it's kind of crazy to have a logo on the moon. And then there's perfectly framed photos. So the claims that the astronauts used chest mounted cameras yet captured well-composed shots. So like a police body cam. You're in the moon, you're walking around on some territory you've never seen, but yet these photos are coming up immaculate. Like these are photographers coming up to you're looking through a viewer with your eyes, you're making sure you're getting a good focus, and then you're taking the shutter shot, right? But you're sitting here trying to struggle for air because you got nothing but air in your suit and you're walking around this clunky suit, but yet you're getting all these perfect shots.
Yeah.
Shit, you should have worked for Olin Mills. So anyway, so that was that. So it suggests the photos were taken by professional photographers in controlled environments. The lack of impact crater. The lunar module did not leave a visible crater upon the landing. They just landed and it's just there, just soft, right? So that what it suggests is that it's tied to Kubrick's realistic space scenes in 2001, A Space Odyssey of 1968. So now I got to go and look at this damn movie and look at the comparisons here. Okay, and then lastly, the moon landing was a distraction. Some theorists argue that it was a political theater to distract the public to or claim victory in the space race. Exactly what we were just saying at the beginning.
Yeah.
Said it was a Cold War race between the USSR and ourselves, and we said, of course, we are the best because we're Americans. We always are first, so we did it. And look at this, look at our technology. Again, it just doesn't make sense. And then they're like, "Oh, you did it? Well, prove it again." They're like, "Oh, nah, we did it once. That's it. That's it, bro. If you missed it, if you fell asleep on that shit, that's on you. You missed history.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
we'll never make it back again.
Right. Oh, yeah. Because
We'll
there's no
never make
technology.
it back again."
Right.
Now, I'm not asking for you to be a billionaire and make yourself a submarine and let it implode at the bottom of the ocean with a bunch of other billionaires.
Ooh,
But
that's
look at that technology. Even that technology was even better than the NASA technology in 1969. And that shit imploded. And we were still in Earth. We were still in the same atmosphere.
and they drove
Just
that
saying.
submarine with the Xbox controller.
He did. He was just like up, down, down, left, right, BA start.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
XO.
It was infinite lives. Obviously, he did that code wrong because it was not infinite lives. It like game over. It was like boop,
Damn it, Jennifer.
and then you were just like cease to exist. Oh, and on our next episode, I'm gonna be diving deep into this conspiracy theory stuff. So you're gonna see a lot of conspiracy theory Thursdays, conspiracy theories Tuesdays, conspiracy theories. Help me, Jesus! Somebody's about to kill me, and the government's behind me. That one, and that might be my very last one. But I do want to talk about the billionaires that have died between March and now of 2025. That's a whole different thing. I was going through my perimenopausal I was going through my menopausal sleep apnea between 2 and 4, and so I was going down my rabbit hole, and that's what came up.
So wait a minute. So March of 2025. So 5 months ago, and now there's been a bunch of billionaires that died. Is that what you're telling me? Who did they leave their money to? Who they leave their money to?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. I wasn't really, I don't know none of these billionaires, but if they have need for someone to assume their estate, I have no problem doing that for you.
That's what I'm saying.
In the past year, from April 2024 to April 2025, what number do you think? How many billionaires do you think? How many billionaires do you think are on the earth, first off? How many one percenters? And how many do you think have died?
So from last year to this year, how many have died? Billionaires?
Yeah, April to April.
I say maybe 7.
Oh, that's good. That's kind of a high number. What you trying to kill everybody?
I think that's high.
Okay, well it was 31.
Fuck. 31?
Bitch, I said 30 fucking 1. And remember when I just said between March and now, there were like a lot that just happened in June, within the 21st, 22nd, 25th of June. I'm telling you, we got to look into this, find out what the fuck is going on. They're
US
all billionaires. Yeah.
I mean, US in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I did a little research on what you were talking about. So you're saying you're going to have the conspiracy theory Thursday. We're going to have the skeptic Saturday, right? So I looked at the whole sea rock thing, right? And it says that the sea that appears on some photographs of a moon rock is not actually on the rock itself. It's the result of a photographic artifact like a hair or a fiber that appeared during the duplication process of the image. The original NASA negatives and prints do not show the sea. Okay, so that's one. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you. So then that's that.
Hey guys, there's no bombs here.
The flag waving, right? So the moon has virtually no atmosphere, meaning there's no wind to make the flag wave naturally. However, the flag was attached to a horizontal pole, which kept it extended and gave it a flying appearance. And as the astronauts planted the flag and unfolded the support rod, their movements caused the flag to swing. So without air, there was no resistance to slow down or stop the flag's motion. So it continued to swing for a longer period of time. Hey, don't shoot the messenger.
Right? They've had over 40 years to keep these fucking stupid lies going. It just makes no goddamn sense. Because I read that as well. And it says, and then, however, the pole didn't extend all the way out, which caused a little ripple at the bottom, which made it to appear to ripple, but it wasn't rippling.
It wasn't rippling.
It was a little bit off. That's what I said.
Okay, the reason why stars are not visible in most photos for the moon landing is due to the brightness of the lunar surface and the camera settings used. The moon surface reflects a significant amount of sunlight, making it appear very bright, especially during the lunar day, which lasts for about 14 Earth days. Holy shit. Well, that I didn't know. One lunar day is 14 Earth days. Fuck that. That's a long ass time. When you talk about a long day, that's a long ass day. That's 14 days. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Because you know
Okay.
I'm about to ask you some questions about this shit.
Cameras used during the moon landing were set to capture the details of the astronauts and the lunar surface, which required a relatively short exposure time. Cameras have a limited dynamic range, meaning that they can only capture a certain range of light as it intensifies. So if the camera is set to capture the bright lunar surface, the faint light from the stars will not be registered.
There was 9. There was 9, actually.
So can we put this to rest now,
Right.
Pumpkin? Does that give you some reassurance as to what was going on? The world wasn't trying to
That
trick you.
absolutely showed me nothing. No, that absolutely showed me nothing. That shows me, hey, this is what we taught you. Shut the fuck up, and this is what you're gonna be learning. And guess what? Now that we took out critical race theory, guess what? Black people never even was on the moon. Black people didn't even exist on here. That's how we're gonna learn that shit.
Dear government, the opinions expressed by Jay in this podcast
Don't you?
are solely hers and hers alone. I do not agree with that. Do not come to my house and get me. And if I die, I did not kill myself. Signed, a beautiful white woman. Thank you. That's my disclaimer I had to put on there to keep me
Blonde,
safe.
beautiful white
A
woman.
blonde, beautiful white woman.
I'm gonna call 911 in a second. So then riddle me this, then, Kendra. Riddle me this.
I will riddle.
You've seen footage of astronauts which are flying in their capsule. There is no gravity. Okay. Explain the one where the woman's hair is all up, right? It's not floating around, but it looks like it has been dippity dude and gelled the hell up like this. And then her necklace is kind of floating a little here, right? And then there's a guy next to her who does a flip. And the guy next to him, like, laughs and kind of pulls him close to him. You can see that he's pulling, and the clothing is kind of pulled up like this, like there's a harness there. And you can see the guy pull the guy closer, not by his shirt, but by something that is pulling him this way. Girl. So explain to me the visuals of the harnesses that are in all these multiple ones. Or there's another one where a guy takes a ball, picks it up, and he has like a pole, and he hits it. He drops the pole drops to the ground, and the ball floats. Why doesn't the pole float? Seeing there's no gravity.
I don't know, sweetie. I have to see the video. Secondly, I don't feel like I know enough about G
That's right.
force. I'm
You're right.
comfortable being a sheep in this particular case because when you know too much, they kill
Just
you.
keep on walking to Antarctica, and you're just gonna fall right off. You're gonna fall right off, girl. Just fall right off the earth. Then keep going.
Listen, I know astronauts experience microgravity in space, meaning no gravity pulls any object downward. But let me ask you this though. Are you talking specifically about when they're in the rocket ship on their way to like the space station, or when they're actually orbiting, they're in space at the space station.
I'm talking about when they're in the Hollywood studios in the actual
What, bitch?
stage
You're an
where they're
asshole.
doing all the stuff. That's what I'm referring to. I'm not
You're
talking
an
about none of
asshole.
that shit. I said, but you know what I would like to talk about? The pay they get.
Oh my God. I just looked this up.
Yeah, see?
The salary for
Sorry.
an astronaut
I get a
caps
little.
out at $161,000. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Fuck that shit. You know,
That.
to well, hold on.
No,
160,000
hold
to
on, hold
pretend
on.
you walking around and to do this?
Jennifer, hold on. That's a cap. That it says the average salary for a NASA astronaut is $112. Kill me fucking now. There's no way I would go to space for $112,000. Are
You're
you
lying.
serious right
You're
now?
fucking lying. There is no way. There is no way. Because
Listen,
again, when I watched I Love Jeannie, they lived in a really nice house. He was not living off no 12 motherfucking dollars and shit.
but listen, it says that the average salary for a NASA astronaut is around 112, 198. But top earners make $157,000. Are you serious right
The ones that actually make it to the moon. The ones that go to the moon. They're the ones. I get again, you know why? Because they're if you were really going out into orbit and doing all that crazy shit, I think you would be with the billionaires. You know what I mean? And the one percenters, you gotta be. Because you're doing some shit that mankind does not do. And you're doing things that it's the first for mankind, but you only getting $50 a week and shit. Miss me with that shit. Risking your life, exploding
now?
in
Right.
orbit and shit. Look. Kendra, exploding in orbit and shit.
Jennifer,
Anyway,
listen, we were all in school. We were all in school when the teacher rolled in that TV and we watched them going up into space and we watched the Challenger
with the
blow the fuck
VCR in there
up.
and it had the big old box, you know.
Yes. And we watched that Challenger blow up and we're like,
Yeah, that's
what
what I'm
just
saying.
happened? Oh my God, what happened? And then they rolled that TV back out. And then we all just was like, okay, kids, pull out your math book to page 8. And we just all went on about our day. So we were there. We
And that's
saw that.
all we
That was
did.
real
I'm
life.
saying, and this is what happened. Just believe us. This is how it happened. So, okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one as is. Let's just say we landed on the
Yes.
moon and we're the first, we're the best at everything. America, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
just want
yeah,
to
this ain't
drink
a
my
motherfucking
Tang
day. Yeah.
and think about the astronauts and all the wonders of the earth. You know what I do want to talk? I know we're wrapping up, but you know what I do want to talk about? One thing I think is super scary about the astronauts is how that little capsule, when they're leaving the space station, that little capsule drops into the ocean and has a parachute on it. That's scary as fuck. You mean I gotta land in the fucking ocean? Scary as fuck. I don't want to do that. So that's
Well, you're
scary.
only dropping from the fucking sky. You're not dropping from like an atmosphere or anything.
Oh my God, Jennifer, they are. And they're going through an atmosphere that will burn them up. That's how it burned up the
Just
Challenger.
don't make no damn sense. Make it make
And
sense.
and I also want to know how those astronauts that got stuck out there for months and they come back and they're compressed. They get shorter and all this crazy shit happens to them.
Atmospheric pressure because they're re-entering the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Yeah.
And so here's my thing. So we have the ability to go into orbit and go around the Earth. We still can't prove that the Earth is round. We
Oh
still
my
can't do
God.
that shit either. God dang, what the fuck? That's probably why you're only getting paid $112,000 a year. I'm just saying. All right, girl. Look, okay. I think we may have to agree to disagree for now, and I may have to bring this up in the next future podcast because I'm gonna come back with some more information because we really got to dive deep and find out what the fuck is really
For
going on.
sure.
I need to know. I may have to get my ass up on the like Katy Perry and all them and bust myself into the orbit to find out this shit is true.
Oh my God.
But I digress. I digress with my habiki. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do that.
Listeners, we want to hear from you. What do you think about the moon landing? What do you think? Is it fake? Is it not? Send us an email. Drop us a line. Jay, tell them where they can drop us a line.
You can email us at info@moodswingsthepodcast.com. Thanks so much, guys. I'm enjoying myself, but I hope
Me
I don't enjoy
too.
myself too much with these conspiracy theories and I enjoy myself out of my life. So, but
Right.
with that said, I'd like to sign off and give you another clink. Well, I love you, Kay.
Love you, Jay.